All right, Shalom, it's your brother Quashab, coming back at you with another lesson. Before I get started, I want to give all praises, glory, and infinite honors unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who taught this truth and rule well. And peace, blessings, and salutations be to the hopefully elect, as well as those that believe in the gospel and may you endure to the end, Lord willing. All right. And I just want to get into a lesson today, all right, pretty much predicated, all right, around the whole situation, okay, with Iran, the U.S., China, all right, basically world events, all right, setting the stage for World War III, all right, in which the particular title I have, okay, it says rumors are becoming a reality, all right, and the rumors of these different wars, all right, in which the main rumor is of World War III, man, all right. The rumor of World War III is becoming a reality, all right, as we see it, okay? Because on all fronts, you have the U.S. at odds, okay, with NATO, all right? You have the U.S. Manipulating Venezuela, all right, all to cripple China, all right, or to prove to China that the U.S. is still a big-time power to deal with, all right? And that's what the whole move in Iran, the whole move in Venezuela, all right, is to, you know, pretty much check China, all right, about, you know, them being the world superpower over the U.S., you know, in which, you know, Iran is all a part of biblical prophecy, all right, because we know that Russia, all right, is going to be a guard unto Iran, all right, and who comes with Russia? China, all right. Now, let's start off with the book of Matthew, right, chapter 24, verse 6. It says, "And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet." All right. So we are hearing these wars, all right, and rumors of wars, all right. You have Trump actually threatening Iran. How you gonna threaten somebody in their own country not to kill people that's protesting? All right. When here in America, you have people that are not pleased with the things that you're doing in the office, all right? How you gonna tell somebody hundreds of thousands of miles away to, I believe what he said, if you start shooting the protesters, we will start shooting you, all right, around the words of that, you know? When you don't have things in order here in your own country, right? But these things are becoming a reality, all right? These wars, all right, listen to the elder, not the Zakbar out of South Carolina, all right, with his introduction to this lesson, you know, going into the things that Trump is doing, all right, and the global events that's happening, you see? And it's all their plans and intentions to escalate things into World War III, right? Now, we know that the MOTB has to happen, all right? It has to come first, all right? But you know, these things are definitely popping off, man. All right. And DJ Donald Trump, all right, he's going to be the author of popping these things off when it comes to having an involvement of the United States of America. All right. But let's see real quick, because there was another clip.
Overnight, protesters flooding the streets across Iran for the 14th night in a row. Masses gathering in Tehran, inundating the nation's capital as far as the eye can see. Crowds cheering around this bonfire, dancing around the flames. Chanting "Down with the dictator," blasting the regime over Iran's failing economy and soaring inflation. In this dramatic footage posted on social media, a man with what appears to be a homemade flamethrower sets a motorcyclist on fire. These protesters risking arrest and even death. The government trying to shut them down with a nationwide communications blackout, cutting off the internet, cell service, and phone lines. As a crackdown intensifies, President Trump escalating his warning to the Iranian regime.
And I tell the Iranian leaders, you better not start shooting, because we'll start shooting too.
Human rights groups say dozens of protesters have been killed and thousands more arrested. Trump clarifying his threat does not mean U.S. boots on the ground.
We'll be hitting them very hard where it hurts. And that doesn't mean boots on the ground, but it means hitting them very, very hard where it hurts.
This morning, Iran responding to those threats, warning that if the U.S. were to strike, the U.S. and Israel would be legitimate targets of the Islamic Republic. This comes just 1 week after the U.S. captured Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro.
All right, and and these are the rumors. All right, these are the rumors of wars. All right, if you do this, we're gonna do that. If you do that, we're gonna retaliate with this, man. All right. Well, there's gonna become a point in time where the Lord is gonna stop. He's gonna stop having the rumors going forward. Okay, and it's just gonna be action. All right, as it says in Psalms 19 and 126. All right, it's time for thee, O Yahweh, to work. All right, it's gonna come a point in time to where the rumors are getting ready to cease, man. All right, now I want to play another video. All right, what the hell? I was listening to the Elder Ariala. Right, I watched the brother Kaya going into a lesson on this, and it was funny. Some of the precepts I had wrote this lesson down this morning. Right before I listened to it, I don't know if it's gonna show the time. All right, but he had brought out some of the same precepts, man. All right, but that's the spirit, though.
Go.
One. But let me.
0. 0.
Wait.
All right, I would just get the same minute mark, right, that the brother got. Lord will is load up, right, around a 39-minute mark. I'm gonna let it play. And while this loading up, right, let me get a quick precept, right? This what's I going? Jeremiah 49. All right, because this chapter goes into a recompense upon Esau Edom. All right, and that's Jeremiah chapter 49, and when you start at verse 10, it says he's made Esau bare. All right, in which we know this is going into how not all the secrets and things that Esau has done, things he's done in secret. All right, it's been proclaimed out in the open, thanks to who? Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, putting the spirit on his men. All right, the prophets and the teachers that go out on the highways and hedges and tell you these things that are going on. All right, but I'm going to jump down right to verse 14. It says, I have heard a rumor from Yahweh, and an ambassador is sent unto the heathen, saying, go ye together and come against her and rise up to the battle. All right. And these nations are rising up to the battle against who? Against America, man. All right. It says, gather ye together and come up against her. All right. Who is he coming up against? Esau Edom. All right. In which the chief city of Esau Edom, all right, is who? America, man. Also known as Basra, all right, which was a chief city of Edom, all right, in these times of Jeremiah. You see? Well, I read verse 13. It says, for I sworn by myself, said Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, that Basra shall become a desolation, a reproach, a waste, and a curse, and all the cities thereof shall be perpetual waste. You see? Starting with America, all right, and all these other places that these Idumeans dwell, all right, which is just another Greek word for Edom. You see? It says, I have heard a rumor from the Lord, an ambassador is sent unto the heathen, saying, all right, these other nations, man, in which Russians are Edomites too, okay? But you have these Iranians, all right, which is, the ancient, or the so-called Persians, right, which are the modern day Iranians. You have the Chinese, Moab, all right? These are all heathens, man, okay? You have the Africans, right, which it tells you in Ezekiel, the 38th chapter, it tells you about, is it Libya, Togomar, all these are heathen nations, man, Yes, it may have certain Israelites among them, dwelling among them, all right, but for the most part, you have these high-ups, they're heathens, but it says, verse 15, for lo, I will make thee small among the heathen. So the Lord said he's going to make your Edomites, all right, forget what I wanted to say, the top tier, right, you elites, okay, the ones who are pulling the strings behind the scenes. It says, for lo, I will make these small among the heathen, and despised among men. All right. So from you being the top guy, all right, the Lord is going to make you be despised. All right. And that's what you're seeing now. These nations are tired of America, man. All right. I saw a video yesterday. It was I don't know what's the guy, right, when he was just the president, who's the supreme leader of Iran. They had an old video showing him, you know, talking about who was his biggest enemy, and he said America. All right. And that was about 20 years ago, man. Right. So now these nations are gearing up to get ready to go against the battle against you. Why? Because Yahweh Bashim Yahushua has put the spirit on them to do so. Okay, now let's see if this video gonna play.
Airstrikes from the United States. So U.S. Military base. It was actually occupied by the U.S. military, but it was built by Saddam Hussein, Al-Assad Air Base. And while like the airbase was flattened, the only reason people survived was because they hid in a bunker that was built by Saddam Hussein to sustain airstrikes from the United States. So, so Iran is capable of inflicting damage. They just chose to avoid targeting the U.S. because they know that the real hand behind this all is Israel. And this is not a beef between them and the United States.
Yeah, we got to wrap it. I want to get you out of here. Thank you. You've been so gracious with your time.
Right, and like this chick is saying, she know that Iran been had the capability, all right, to attack these bases that the U.S. have over there in the Middle East, right? And to tell you that Joel, the 2nd chapter, all right, that he's going to remove far off the Northern Army, which goes into America, all right, and they're actually going to deploy troops, you know. In the other clip I showed, it said Trump that, you know, it don't actually mean boots on the ground. Well, what does it actually mean? You see, because these people are not going to back down, all right? They're not going to go for just, airstrike. Well, what happens when they actually do something here on U.S. soil, man? You see, and these are the things that's coming, all right? But I'm going to let it play.
I want to go back real quick on one thing you said. Your sources in the Middle East are telling you that war is coming to Iran by the end of the month, and we have heard separately here at Redacted from sources in Israel who have told us the very same thing, the 30th or the 31st of January. And of course, President Trump likes to, when he wages one of these wars, likes to start it or on a Friday night into a Saturday morning. When the markets are closed, that would be the 30th of January, 31st of January. So that's what you're hearing as well?
That or before that.
You always wondered why that app didn't exist.
Right. It said that or before that,
Now you can make it.
Let me see.
Meet Replit Agent.
She said anything else. Couldn't remember.
All right, Doctor. Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. Thanks for your boots on the ground.
Yeah, man. That or before that, right? And which we know these people here are redacted, all right, is juiced in. You know, anytime you have sources on the side of Israel, right, you know, they call themselves woke or whatever, leftist, whatever, but we know they juiced in too, all right? But anytime their sources are saying, you know, a war between Israel and Iran is supposed to break out anytime, all right, basically at any time or within the span of these next 2 weeks, you see? Well, it's certainly possible that it can happen, all right? But we can clearly see that these nations are gearing up and getting ready for war, all right? So let's go to Isaiah 34, all right? Isaiah 34, verse 1, it says, "Come near, ye nations, to hear, and hearken, ye people, and let the earth hear, and all that is therein, the world and all the things that come forth of it. For the indignation of Yahweh is upon all nations," you see? And that's the reason why the Lord is causing these people to come in, all right, and prepare war and actually have this World War III thing go down, all right? Because the Lord is tired of these people ruling. He's tired of them talking shit against his people, all right? So he's bringing his righteous anger upon all these nations, ultimately through Yahweh Shai when he makes his return. But he's bringing them into what? A breaking point right now, all right? To where they're actually going to destroy each other, man. You see? That's how cold the Lord is, right? It says, "And his fury upon all their own armies, he had utterly destroyed them, he had delivered them to the slaughter. And that's what's coming, man. The Lord is getting ready to deliver these nations to the slaughter. That's why he's telling them, prepare war. Okay, let's go to Joel, the 2nd chapter. All right, I'm not going to get the barren and desolate scripture, but I just want to get that, what is it, 3 and 9? Yeah. All right, I usually bookmark them, but I just wrote it down this time. All right, this Joel chapter 3, verse 9. It says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, all right, the heathen nations, right? Prepare war, wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near and let them come up. You see? And that's the message that's going out throughout the planet Earth right now. All right, these nations are preparing for war. You see? You have China, right, which I believe at some point, you know, that they're just going to totally take over Taiwan. You see, you have the U.S. and Trump playing chess. Well, when the hell these other heathen going to start playing chess, man? All right? Yeah, we understand the MOTB got to come, all right? But these prophecies are going to be happening so fast, man. You see? Simultaneously almost, right? It says, beat your plowshares in the swords and your pruning hooks in the spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. You see? And that's what these nations are doing now, all right? You have NATO, these weaker nations, all right, which is known as the clay, all right? The weaker nations of NATO coming up against America, all right? Well, how much more the enemies, man? Right? Who's joined this alliance with Russia? You see? A lot of these nations are saying, man, you know what? We tired of it. We tired of this whore. You know, we tired of America, all right? Being a big bad bully, all right? The hammer of the earth to all these other nations, man. You see? But that's cool. I don't want to read the whole thing. You know, I just got a couple more. I'm gonna get out here. You know, Lord willing, the point has been made. All right. This is the last two is Revelation 11. All right, verse 14. All right, and like I said earlier, the rumors are gonna turn into reality. All right, why? Ultimately, because it's prophecy, man. All right, it's prophecy. This Revelation chapter 11. Verse 14, it says the second woe is past, all right, which represents the Second World War, all right? The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe coming quickly. You see? So the third woe is coming quickly, man, all right? The war to end all wars, you see? That whole couple verses, man, you know? But I'm going to end it off in the book of Isaiah chapter 9, verse 5, man. All right? Because, you know, it ain't going to be how it was. All right? It's going to be a whole lot of missiles. All right? And a whole lot of arsenals getting used, man. All right? It's Isaiah chapter 9, verse 5. It says, for every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood. You see? Swords clanking, shields clanking, arrows screaming, you know? Those ancient wars back in the times of Isaiah, all right? But it says, but this shall be with burning and with fuel of fire, right? So the war to end all wars, man, all right? It ain't gonna be no more of that clanking swords. It's gonna be buttons getting pressed, all right? Which we know that's the end all be all right? And our salvation is nearer than when we believe, man. Each day we wake up, all right, at this point, it's like we about to get out of here, you know, within the next week, you see? But, you know, Lord will, you know, it be this year, man, all right? Because all hell is definitely breaking loose on a global scale, you know? And seeing things, you know, we getting close up on the Passover, all right? You know, different things happening, man. So just keep a spiritual lens open, all right? Because, amen, the Lord is nigh, all right? Our salvation is near, all right? And these last few prophecies, right? Matter of fact, I can end it off in Isaiah, the 55th chapter, all right? Because these last few prophecies are getting ready to pass, man, all right? Set your affairs in order. It's Isaiah chapter 55, verse 9. It says, I'll start at 10. It says, for as the rain cometh and the snow from heaven, and returneth not thither, but watereth the earth, and maketh it bring forth in bud, that it may give seed to the sower and bread to the eater. So the whole process of it raining and snowing, all right, all for the purpose of watering crops so it could bring forth bud and seed that, you know, you may be able to eat, All right, it's the same way with the Lord's word, as it's going to say. Verse 11, so shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. All right, and the Lord's word has been going forth out of his mouth for decades, man. All right, and it's at the point now to where it says this: it shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it. You see, and I'm going to read in the NLT. It says, it is the same with my word. I send it out. It always produces fruit. All right. And what's real, those righteous fruits, man. All right. Those fruits that come through what? The laboring in the vineyard. You see, it says it will accomplish all that I wanted to. You see, and it will prosper everywhere I send it. All right. And that's what we're witnessing on first-hand accounts of the Lord's word prospering. All right, these prophecies are coming to pass, man. You see? So, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. So with that, I'm going to give all praises, glory, and infinite honors unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak, Wadash, and double honors once again to the apostles. The elders of Great Millstone. Peace, blessings, salutations to the old elect.